Hi and welcome to the monthly love reading for May 2019. The sun is just setting here where I am in Mexico. So a little bit of a sunset session. I'm just shuffling the cards and then I'm going to do my masculine, feminine reading for the highest love possible. So welcome, a new face-to-face format. If you like it, please hit the like button. Please share with anybody that you think this may be useful to. There may be just a little insight in here or something that I say, something that's relevant that you feel like might connect to another. Please share if you feel that. Also, feel into your own intuition always. I may have an interpretation that comes through that is not, and you have something completely different. So have your own personal experience with the reading. Just going to shuffle for a little bit longer. Thank you so much for being here. And then we're going to get out the cards. So they're ready. So the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands there on the bottom of the deck. She is the intuitive feminine. I just finished a private session where I was talking about the intuitive feminine and what is happening for this intuitive feminine in terms of leadership. It's also to listen to other female people around you, that there is wisdom there. But it's really about grounding this energy of a very pure feminine energy that is equal to a masculine energy. So I'm very much drawn to and have been downloading information regarding this Lilith energy at the moment. The Lilith energy is, for me, the original feminine energy. It just feels so true and so in this feminine energy. In a lot of mythology and stories and narratives, she's seen to be demonic and negative and scary and all of these things. But she is the original feminine. For me, it's a useful narrative to talk about this true intuitive feminine because she is powerful. I mean, this Queen of Wands, the High Priestess is really this energy, but the Queen of Wands speaks to it. It's this Mother Earth idea, but understanding that the earth can be destructive, as well as, that destruction is always part of creation. But she is very, very equal to the masculine. There's something about that. I also feel like there's a message actually about me and what I do. I was just talking again in my personal session about how what I always seek to do is connect you to you. I don't have an agenda other than that. The you that is love, because you are love. So it's just you. And I feel like this is indicative of this work, really, almost of the cards. It's the intuitive feminine that speaks, that communicates, that has something to say. She exists within you and she exists here within me. And it's kind of, I feel like it's a welcome into this space and an invitation for me to talk about what I'm doing here, which is always, like I said, seeking to connect you to you, always. There's no path other than your path to connect you with your own path in experiencing in this energy, in this card, this feminine. So I'm kind of welcoming that feminine energy in. So the masculine energy is going to be on this left side of the spread, and the feminine on the right. That feels good. The first card for the masculine is the Seven of Wands. Second card for the masculine is the Page of Cups. Third card for the masculine, the Nine of Cups. Sun's just setting here. Fourth card for the masculine, the Four of Swords. Woo! First card for the feminine, the Ace of Wands. We're going to go with this light. Second card for the feminine, the Knight of Wands. Wow, that's quite a lot of energy. Third card for the feminine, the Lovers. Wow, what's going on with the feminine this month? Fourth card for the feminine, the Two of Wands. Wow. Okay. Top card, Crown. Card the feminine brings, the Root, and the card the masculine brings are just turned over in the center. The bottom of the deck, as I said, is this Queen of Wands card. This is a really interesting reading. There's a huge amount of energy, and this is a very creative, very sexual, very sensual energy on this feminine side. First card for the feminine is this Ace of Wands. This is creation itself. This feels like it's very much in alignment with everything I was just saying about that feminine creatrix, the creator energy moving through. It's quite a masculine energy though, that Ace of Wands. I have a friend and I was kind of talking about the Ace of Wands and he said, well, you know, that looks like that. It's kind of obvious within that card, this kind of sexual energy, and it can feel a little bit more like it's a masculine energy. But it's just a new beginning. It's a new start, a new beginning, but in a sense of a sensualness in a sensual way. The sensuality of this original feminine energy that I'm talking about is very powerful. It's very, very powerful, but it's not manipulative. It has been seen to be manipulative because of its power. It's almost like, well, if you're powerful, then you're manipulative. No, you're not. But there's a lot of sexual desire in that, but sensual desire. So it doesn't necessarily need to be expressed in a sexual way, but there's a lot of that force moving through on that feminine side. The second card she has is this Knight of Wands, which again for me, I always kind of call him my sex knight. He's the guy that's kind of rushing in with the passion. It's passion. All these wands and passion on this feminine side, a huge amount of passionate energy this month for the feminine. On the masculine side, we start off with this Seven of Wands though. So when the Seven of Wands meets this Ace of Wands, it's a little bit defensive. It kind of says no. That Seven of Wands says, it does say no, it's defensive. The masculine energy is trying to defend himself against this Ace of Wands energy. This Ace of Wands energy is scary. The feminine needs to be aware of the power of her sexuality. And this isn't in a way that you've heard anywhere else. This is not about what the feminine thinks sexuality or sensuality is. It's almost prehistoric. I don't mean that in terms of anthropology, in terms of humans. I mean in terms of our understanding of the feminine. So it's the feminine that's before the feminine that we think we are. Where's her sensuality? Because that's the power. It's the feminine that exists slightly behind and beyond the feminine that you may perceive yourself to be. Very, very important. Very powerful. Very scary. She needs to know that. She doesn't need to be upset by this rebuttal. It does seem like it's a rebuttal. That Seven of Wands is about standing your ground, maintaining your position. He's maintaining his position. He's saying no. He's saying no to this big creative force. It doesn't make a difference to the feminine though. She just comes in again with this Knight of Wands. So it's still going. The feminine needs to understand that this force is driving her and she's not driving it. She's got to allow that sensual, sexual, passionate force, creative force to move through her. It's definitely focused towards the masculine. That's what's happening. It's a huge, huge energy that's going on there. It just pushes him away though. When she comes in with this Knight of Wands, and on the table, it's like this, she rushes in with this energy and he's wanting to give his emotion and his love out to somebody else on the other side. The reason why that's happening though is because He's not in this fiery energy. The wands are fire and passion. He's not in that energy. He's in this kind of soft, watery, beautiful, innocent, generous energy. I always feel like the Page of Cups is the most generous because he's the cup there with the little fish in his cup. Pages, youthful, primary, as innocent. But also the Page of, it's a communicator. It's a communicative energy. It's an energy of communication. So that Page of Cups is offering out love, but it's much smaller than this wand, fire, passion. It's not that it's less powerful, but it's less aggressive. It's much less aggressive. So it's just sweet. It's sweetness. The Page of Cups is sweetness, and it's not towards the feminine, but he's just not in that energy. It doesn't mean this rejection has nothing to do with her. It's just to do with where he's at. But it's to do with the masculine dealing with this feminine sensuality. The feminine has to deal with it within her, and it's important that she understands how it impacts the world, which is why he's responding in that way. We are both getting to grips with this really beautiful, very powerful energy. I will call it like the primordial feminine. She's the feminine behind the feminine that we think we are. So it's not a feminine that you can even think of. It's not a sexuality or femininity that you can even be aware of. It's behind you. It's behind us. It's moving you. That's this beautiful energy that's moving through. It's a bit scary. The feminine needs to understand how powerful it is, and she can feel it drive her. She's gonna feel it drive her. The masculine's just not in that place. The masculine's feeling just resistant to it, but not in an aggressive way, but in a very solid way with that 7. But then also that I want to just express how I feel, but it's not towards the feminine. It's towards it's out to other people in the first instance. This is extremely important. It's very important that the masculine energy is soft and expressive in an emotional way. That's what this Page of Cups is. And it's kind of like the feeling before we've had the thought about the feeling and communicating that. It's extremely powerful for the masculine at this time, and he is going out to do that. It's not the feminine's position to stop him from doing that, or to feel as though she's done anything wrong, or she shouldn't be feeling, this way. To talk about it in more simple terms, it's kind of like the feminine really wants to get going. She's got this huge passionate energy moving through her that she wants to express, and it's there for her to express, and it's good that she does. But the masculine is kind of defending that, and then taking this innocent, loving, emotional communication out to someone else, somewhere else where it really doesn't matter. Then there's a bit of a shift in energy though. Fast. The feminine's in this Lovers card, moves into this Lovers, Major Arcana, then suddenly you can feel it in me. That shift down into a different space. It's more balanced. Look at the symmetry in that card, that sun shining, that angel, the two of them. It's really interesting that this Lovers card came up with this kind of Adam and Eve narrative, you see. But the true match for Adam is this primordial, is it primordial? Yes, primordial or primordial? Primordial feminine energy. That is his equal. And she's really finding that sensual expression. It's in her body. She lives in her body. But then this is kind of like masculine can meet her there. But both masculine and feminine this month in May are coming to terms with that powerful force, the creative force of the universe. That feminine, creative, sensual force which lives within her and within us all. And it comes into this balance in this Lovers card for the feminine. And then this is this dream come true for the masculine. Because he never wanted He never wanted the prostitute. He never wanted the lesser feminine. He never wanted the feminine that made her small. He never wanted the feminist who was trying to be a feminine that wasn't actually who she was in her idea. He didn't want the feminine trying to be feminine. He didn't want the feminine trying to be strong. Interesting light going on. He didn't want her. He wanted his equal. He wants his equal. And so this is what he gets. So has she. It's what she's always wanted. But it's almost like we didn't quite understand that feminine energy. In this month of May, that feminine energy is rising. Rising isn't the right word because it's not like it's rising up. It's like it's pushing forward. It's emerging, but it's more like it's moving forward. It's not kind of moving up. It's not coming out of the ground. It's coming from behind her, through her. It's moving through her, through us all, through us as humanity. And then we have this beautiful balance of the lovers meeting, seeing one another naked in their truth, the heaven shining upon them, the 9 of Cups, the wish, the dream come true. The masculine has the wish card. It's his dream come true. He's happy as Larry, as they say. He's just, look at the face on this, look at the face on that guy. We can sort that focus out. He's just happy. He's happy. It's just, I won. And it's this is the win. And it's the win for all of us. 4th card, then there's another shift of energy again. 4th card for the feminine is this 2 of Wands, and for the masculine is this 4 of Swords. So again, on the table, they're around this way. So this is how they're interacting. This 2 of Wands is about looking into the future. It's about looking out and creating a new world. When I interpret this card, it's all about this new world that the figure is holding. He's a visionary. She's a bit, doesn't matter. There's no sex attached to it, no gender, but it's a visionary attitude holding the world, really understanding that this partnership and partnership itself is about taking love into the world by being love, and is born from this lover's energy. The 3rd card for the feminine, 4th card this 4 of Wands. The masculine then has this 4 of Swords though. Again, there's a bit of a push-pull energy. The masculine's a bit asleep. It's almost like he's just lagging a little bit behind with the energy because it's being driven by the feminine. So you notice that I took the masculine cards out first, but the feminine wanted to speak because she had something. She's kind of shouting the loudest. She's the one driving everything. So that's why seems like he's in a bit of a defensive position. And it's this feminine energy that's doing the driving, and it's not about anything other than that. It's big, it's new, it's exciting, but it can be quite affronting. And so she becomes the visionary in this beautiful balance that she finds masculine and feminine. The masculine's just a little bit behind that. He's not quite there yet. He's just in the more receptive position. And then he kind of goes really chilled out with this 4 of Swords. That's very much it's kind of, I don't really know what he's just not there. He doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to know about her vision for the future. So there's a big vision for the future for the feminine, but the masculine isn't really interested in what that is. The root for this, interesting. The root is the Sun, big major arcana card, and the crown is the Hanged Man. So the Sun is all about self-expression, enlightenment, coming into your truth, your power, your innocence, returning to the innocence of the authentic expression of a child. The level of authenticity, which is just a 3-year-old naked being so authentic. That's what that Sun is. And I feel like this is what's being born. This is this truth, this new way of being. new way of being who we are. I do feel like it's more on that feminine side though, and that feminine is driving that. It's a feminine force that's driving it. It's the feminine force that has been not understood, and has been seen to be evil because she's destructive as well as creative. But this is the duality that gives us this freedom to experience everything, the good and the bad, and not be in judgment, and to truly be free. So this is this sun energy, but then the crown here on the top is the Hanged Man. So it is being a little bit slowed down, a little bit weighted, but it's for a reason. It's so we can see it. So it's like this full galloping ahead of this horse might feel, oh, I don't really want this Hanged Man energy sitting on the top of it. I don't want the crown to be this. I don't want to not be able to move forward. But the Hanged Man is about seeing things from a different perspective. It's about not getting carried away. It can be uncomfortable. It can be difficult. It's not nice to be hung up there, upside down in that position. It's not fun, but it's there. He has a halo around his head. He is there to experience from an opposite angle. It's not antithetical or opposite to this sun energy because there's a childlikeness to it. You know, when children hang upside down and see the world from that perspective, yes, all the blood's going to rush to your head. You can't really stay there for that long, but you can enjoy it. You can really enjoy that shift and that opposite perspective, but it is going to feel a little bit like, oh, there's this feminine force that's so powerful, and when within the feminine, she's very energized by it, but from the masculine side, it's also energized. It's also good. It feels good, but it needs time. He's perceiving it from outside, so it's almost like from her, she's perceiving it within herself, which is challenging within itself, but then he is perceiving it from the outside. So it's just a different experience of this feminine energy being brought through. Again, it's this kind of the original femininity, the feminine of duality, the feminine that has the ability to create and to destroy. And the old Lilith story is that she kills babies. But guess what? Nature kills babies. We have this we can't just have a romantic idea of Mother Earth and of the feminine energy. And that's how she got repressed. But she is equal to, within the mythology, and the idea is she is equal to Adam. She was not made of Adam's rib. So this is how we truly embody and understand the feminine energy, is that she is everything. And so is the masculine. But if we have an idea of what we want the feminine to be, but it's because the feminine energy is receptive, generally. So it's softer. We don't like the idea that the mother would kill a child. A mother would kill a child. The mind doesn't like that. But if we want to be free to fully express, if we want to be free to fully express who we are, we need to be able to not be afraid of those things. It doesn't mean we're going to do it, or we need to like it even, but it's just that we need to understand that that is part of the feminine energy, and it exists in nature. It exists within animals, and we just don't like it psychologically. But this is how the feminine has been repressed, because we don't want her to be powerful in that way. We make her a demon. This is where the witch was born. This is why this is all about the intuitive feminine being truly understood as a gift. Very powerful. But she also has to understand that when that power comes out, it can be quite affronting and scary, and there is a capacity for her to be misunderstood, or misheard, or put into that category. But it doesn't matter, because the more you can connect to that pure energy, the true self will always find its true path. So it really doesn't matter. The energy, the feminine, so this is fascinating. The energy the feminine brings into the masculine, though, is this Five of Cups. This is disappointment. That when she goes towards him, she feels like the cups, 3 cups are spilled, and that those 2 of cups, those 2 love cups are not there. They are there. The 5 is always about the middle ground, finding balance. Very important for the feminine in this position, but it's going to seem like that. It seems as though there is no love here, but I've just explained kind of how and why, and that's just what's going on for this month. The card, and this is amazing, the card that the masculine has is the Tower. I mean, it cannot get any clearer. I love this. This is so clear, the way that this story is being put together, and I really feel like that this is a really important story. Please share this. Please share this with people that want to understand the way that femininity can truly exist and masculinity plays with one another. This is what this work is all about, how it plays with one another, and sees one another and moves in these energies in order to experience freedom. Freedom from judgment, freedom from right and wrong, freedom from what we should be and what we shouldn't be, what we should say and what we shouldn't say, and most of all, freedom from how we think relationships should and shouldn't be. And really working with that relationship with the self. So please share that, because I feel like it's a really powerful message, and it was kind of coming through to me. It started yesterday, and it's just really, really important. So the feminine, again, she's feeling this energy and this passion and this fire and this creativity, but it can be destructive, that fire. That's why it really needs to be seen and understood. That's why this Hanged Man is there in that position. It's extremely important that we take the time to see it, even though it may seem challenging and difficult and not quite comfortable. Because the masculine is in this Tower energy, this is the destruction, this is the ground moving beneath us, this is, life isn't as he knows it, this is, I don't know, everything I thought, everything I knew is not true and is all kind of being thrown away, and I am being thrown away with that too. Like the self is kind of being thrown out and chucked out of this tower that's falling down. That's what's happening with him. That's why there's this perception of he's not getting it, or he doesn't want the love, or there's no love here. But to be honest, there isn't any love. There's no love here from the masculine in these terms of cups here at all, because there's all this kind of push and pull going on with him, where there's too much going on on the there's no love for the feminine, because she's too kind of, she's like a volcano erupting, but it's beautiful, but it's kind of like there is meeting in these cards. It's not like there isn't meeting, but it's almost like the meeting, there's this push pull energy, meeting and then moving away, and I've explained why in that dynamic. But if the feminine wants to understand, this is all ego and there's something wrong with me, you know, because the five of, or there's something wrong here, or wrong with the self, or something wrong here. That's what makes this 5, you know, the 3. But it's true, there are 3 cups spilled and there are 2 cups not spilled. There's more on the negative side than there is on the positive side. But we don't need to feel negative when we observe negative things. This is the gift of this card, which is so important. You can view things that you don't like, that you perceive to be negative, that are negative in your world, in your perspective, to you, to many, to whomever, and feel okay. People talk about law of attraction, and they can get afraid to look at and perceive negativity. There's nothing wrong with what you're perceiving, it's how you feel about it. This is the gift of this 5. So the 2 of Cups are there, but it's okay. You don't have to see and turn around to the 2 of Cups. You can feel okay in the 3. I'm here to say that's why you're experiencing this destruction of these 3 cups fallen because he's in this destruction. That's where he's at. That's all good. It's fine. This is all about embracing destruction as part of creation. This is really what this month is about. So don't miss the opportunity to see things as broken, because that's where your freedom lies. Extremely powerful. Sometimes. Okay. 3 of Wands is the outcome. So the 3 of Wands follows keep the Queen of Wands on the bottom there. 3 of Wands follows this 2 of Wands that the feminine has as her 4th card. This is a message being received. It's coming. It's on its way. It is coming. It is here. This loss or this destruction, loss isn't really the word, it's destruction that wants to be seen. And it's not only destruction, it's creation and destruction. It's not we lose the good stuff because of the bad stuff. It's that we gain everything and freedom. And it is on the experience of freedom. This is saying the story, the narrative that you want that to live within, is on its way. This is part of the process of getting there. If you are interested in this, working in these energies, in living in love, in being love, in living in love, no matter what, please join me over on Patreon. What I noticed, I make all my decisions intuitively. There's not really any decision making happening, to be honest. The Patreon group, I can feel it. There's a leadership aspect. So you might not like that idea that to be in love is to lead, but to be in love is to lead, because it's the path of least resistance, and you're always going to be ahead of the game. That's what's going on in that Patreon arena. I'm going to be sharing much more on YouTube as well. It's in the process of becoming. It's going to be here. I'm trying to get as much content out as possible. Please share this to people you think will find this interesting. It's about this, like I said, how the masculine and feminine energies are playing, and I feel like it's important for all. And there are insights that are relevant to many people that I would like to get this to, and I need your help to do that. So please share this. Also like and leave a comment, because that helps, that helps online with the sharing here and how YouTube works. So please do that as well. Thank you so much for your time. Your time, your focus, your attention is the most valuable thing that you have. Never, ever, ever forget that. People can get really picky about what they spend their money on, but they'll give their time and focus and attention away like it's nothing. Never, ever forget the value of your focus, time, and attention. That's how you create. That's how you really become in the world. So remember to choose that carefully too, especially online. So much love. Personal sessions as well. Personal sessions as well. I'm always available. All the links will be in the description. You are way more incredible than you know. There are not words to express the beauty that is you. When you're just who you are. And that means just being in the world with what is happening, because you become part of it when you embrace it and you really experience yourself as the entire universe. And that's all I ever want for you and for everybody, including myself. So thank you. You really helped me to be the best version of me by your being here. Loads of love. And like, share, comment, get on Patreon if you feel like that's something you want to do. I do weekly sessions like this over on Patreon every Sunday. Every Sunday I do weekly sessions like this over on Patreon for that group. And they're awesome. They're cool, live. So yeah, get over there. Loads of love. Have an incredible month.